Namaskar, welcome on my channel Education with Shweta. We have started a series of grade 12 history. In this series, we are covering theme 9 Kings and Chronicles. Till now, we have completed 7 parts of this theme Kings and Chronicles. Now, in this video, we are going to cover the rest of the chapter, the imperial officials, recruitment and ranks. Mughal chronicles, especially Akbarnama, have given us a vision of the empire in which agency rests almost solely with the emperor, with the rest of the kingdom has been portrayed as following his orders. The corps of officers known as nobility in the Mughal Empire was recruited from diverse ethnic and religious groups. This ensured that no faction was large enough to challenge the authority of the state. The imperial officials were described by the court historians as a bouquet of flowers, guldasta, held together by loyalty to the emperor. During the rule of Akbar, for the imperial service, Iranian and Turani nobles were recruited on a large scale. Two ruling groups of Indian origin entered the imperial service from 1560 onwards. Among these Indian origin, the Rajputs and the Indian Muslims, who were known as Sheikhzadas, were the first. The first to join Rajput was considered as Raja Baharmal Kachwaha of Amer, to whose daughter Akbar got married. And another very famous example being Akbar's finance minister Raja Todarmal, who belongs to Khatri caste. Aurangzeb appointed Rajputs to high position, and under him the Marathas accounted for a sizable number within the body of officers. The recruitment officers of the service in the Mughal Empire were given ranks. Mansabdar with two numerical designation. Now we will discuss more about the Mansabdari system. What was that? That Mansabdari system was the administrative system introduced by Akbar in Mughal Empire, and it was in around 1571. As we have already discussed that Mansab, the word is of Arabic origin and which determines a rank or a position. Hence, Mansabdari was a system of ranking the government officials and determined their service and military duties. The Mansabdar formed the ruling elite in the Mughal Empire. Consequently, the whole nobility, the bureaucracy, and the hierarchy all held mansabs. The recruitment and positions of Mansabdar was in the hands of the emperor, and according to his will, he could also dismiss them. Mostly the recruitment of the Mansabs was made on the recommendation of Mir Bakshi. Under the Mansabdari system, different numbers which could be divided by 10 used for ranking officers. They were also meant for fixing the salaries and allowances of the officers. During the Akbar's regime, initially the lowest rank was that of number 10 and the highest that of 10,000. Mansab above 5,000 and later on that of 7,000 were given only to prince. The highest rank of 10,000 was given exclusively to Salim, the crown prince. At a later stage, however, Akbar raised the highest rank to 12,000. During Jahangir and Shah Jahan's reign, mansabs only 8,000 were given to officers, which prince were given mansabs up to 40,000. The later Mughal gave mansabs up to the number of 50,000. So broadly, there were three main classifications of the mansabs. All officers below the rank of mansabs of 500 were called mansabdar. The officers with the mansabs from 500 to 2500 were called amirs. The officers then ranked over 2500 were called amir-e-azam. So the mansab was designed by the dual representation zat, a personal rank, and sawar, a cavalry rank. The sawar ranking indicated the number of armed cavalry or sawar which each had to maintain for service in the imperial army. Now, based on their zat and sawar, mansabs can be classified. So, next, there were two other important ministers at the center, the Diwan-e-Ala, that is the finance minister, and Sadar-us-Sudur, minister of grants, or Madad-e-Mash, and in charge of appointing local judges or qazis. These three ministers occasionally come together as an advisory body but were independent of each other. Akbar, with these and other advisors, shaped the administrative, fiscal, and monetary institution of the empire. There were also reserved force Tainat-e-Rakab, which can be deputed to province or military campaign. They have the responsibility for guarding the empire round the clock. So another important topic, that is 8.2, information and empire. Sources of information about Mughal court. The keeping of exact and detailed record was a major concern of the Mughal administration. This is the reason, that is why we are having this much knowledge about the Mughal Empire, because they were keeping the exact and the detailed record of each and everything. The Mir Bakshi supervised the corps of the court writers, Wakia Navis, who recorded all application and documents presented to the court and all imperial orders, that is Farman. Agents, Wakil of nobles, and regional rulers recorded the entire proceedings of the court under the heading News from the Exalted Court, Akhbarate Darbare Muala, with the date of the court session Peher. The Akhbarat contained all kinds of information such as attendance at the court, grants of others and titles, diplomatic missions, presents received, or the inquiries made by the emperor about the health of an officer. We can see they were maintaining very deep information which serves us a very huge source of knowledge about the Mughal administration. How the information was spread in the Mughal Empire. News reports and important official document traveled across the length and breadth of the region under Mughal rule by imperial post. Round the clock, relays of foot runners, they were known as ghasid or patmars, carried paper rolled up in a bamboo container, and they were just keep on passing that roll to other relay or a foot runner. The emperor received report from even distant provincial capitals within a few days. The empire was well connected by rapid information loops for public news. Now we will discuss 8.3, beyond the center provincial administration. The administration system of the provinces, subas, also had the same method like that of the center. The governor or the subidar was the head of the provincial administration. He had to report the emperor directly, and the province's ministers were assisted by their subordinates such as Diwan, Bakshi, Sadar, and Persian was made the language of administration. And along with that, they have to maintain all their records in the Persian language, but some conditions are also there that each suba was further divided into sarkars with the jurisdiction of the faujdar or commandant. The local administration was looked after at the level of Pargana sub-district by three officers were the Kanungo. And what was the work of Kanungo? He was considered as the keeper of revenue record, and Chaudhary in charge of revenue collection, and the Qazi. The administration of each department was maintained by many staffs of clerks, accountant, auditor, messengers, and other functionaries with the good technical skills, with a highly standardized rule and procedures. As I have already told you, Persian was made the court language or the language of administration, but some conditions were also there, like at the local level. Local languages were also being used for the village administration, and in all these things zamindars played very important role at the village level. So now we are moving towards to our ninth topic, beyond the frontiers. Writers of the chronicles list many high sounding titles assumed by the Mughal emperor, like Shahanshah, Kings of Kings, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb Alamgir, ruler of the world. So these titles indicates the claim of the Mughal emperor to uncontested territorial and political control. The contemporary historians, in their account, describe the political relation and conflict of the Mughal rulers with their neighboring political power. As we are discussing the relationship of the Mughal administration beyond the frontiers, frontiers are the boundaries. So, what kind of relationship Mughal rulers were having with the Kandahar and Safavids rulers of Iran? The relation between Mughals and neighboring countries of Iran and Turan depend upon the control of Hindu Kush mountain, which separated Afghanistan from India. The fortress town of Kandahar was always a boon of contestation between the Safavids of Iran and the Mughals. Initially, Kandahar had been in the possession of Humayun. It was reconquered by Akbar in 1595. While the Safavid rulers staked claim on Kandahar, but they did not break their diplomatic relation with the Mughals. Jahangir sent a diplomatic mission to the court of Shah Abbas, the ruler of Iran, to plead the case of retaining Kandahar, but the mission returned disappointed. In 1622, the Safavid ruler of Iran recovered Kandahar. So, next we will discuss the relationship with the Ottoman rulers. The Mughal relations with the Ottomans were marked by the concern to ensure free movement of merchants and pilgrims in the territories under Ottoman or the Turkish ruler. So it was especially true to Hijaz, which was situated in the Ottoman Arabia, where Makkah and Medina were located. The Mughal rulers combined religion and commerce by exporting valuable articles to Aden and Mocha, both Red Sea ports and distributed proceeds of the sale in charity to the keepers of shrine and religious men there. These youths at the Mughal court. Beyond the frontiers, as we are discussing the relationship of the Mughal ruler beyond their frontiers. These youths, missionaries in the Mughal court. So the Mughal emperor assumed many titles as we have discussed, like Shahenshah, Jahangir, Shah Jahan. So all these were tried to claimed their authority. So all conquerors who sought to make their way into the Indian subcontinent had to cross the Hindu Kush mountain. Thus, the Mughal tried to ward off this potential danger and tried to control Kabul and Kandahar. Europe got knowledge of India through the accounts of Jesuit missionaries, travelers, merchants, and diplomats. Akbar was curious about Christianity, and the first Jesuit mission reached the Mughal court at Fatehpur Sikri in around 1580. The Jesuits' accounts are based on personal observation and shed light on the character and mind of the emperor. Akbar's quest for religion. Although we can easily understand, Akbar was very knowledgeable person. So Akbar's quest for religious knowledge led to interfaith debates in the Ibadat Khana at Fatehpur Sikri between learned Muslims, Hindus, Jainas, Parsis, and Christians. Increasingly, Akbar moved away from the orthodox Islamic ways of understanding religions towards a self conceived, eclectic form of divine worship focused on light and sun. Akbar and Abul Fazl tried to create a philosophy of light and used it to shape the image of the king and ideology of the state. So, king was a divinely inspired individual who had a supreme sovereignty over his people and complete control over his enemy. With these liberal ideas, the Mughal rulers could effectively control the heterogeneous population of Indian subcontinent for a century and a half. So when now I'm just concluding this chapter, as we have taken number of ideas, so these ideas were in a harmony with the perspective of the court chronicles, who gave us a sense of the process by which the Mughal rulers could effectively assimilate such a heterogeneous populace within the imperial edifice. The name of the dynasty continued to enjoy legitimacy in the subcontinent for further more time, like a century and a half. Even after its geographical extent and the political control it exercised has diminished considerably. So, this is how we have completed our Theme 9 Kings and Chronicles. So, all the parts are on my channel, and all these parts are total 8 parts we have made related to Theme 9 Kings and Chronicles. I hope you all like this initiative. Please keep supporting us. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And a very big thank you to all those who all are watching my videos and supporting me a lot.